Ladies and gentlemen and Java programmers, we're going to do the calculator project. We finished lesson 5 in Code Academy, and now we are going to practice some of the things that we learned and hopefully didn't forget. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the project. It's going to be a basic calculator. It's going to add, subtract, multiply, divide, and do the modulo function. So the first thing you need to do is go to this link, and I want you to sign up for Code Diva because you are now the diva of code writing. And by the way, in your notes, we're going to take some notes in this chapter or in this project. Write down your login email and your password because I never want you to forget your Codiva login information. Also, on your browser, bookmark Codiva so you can get to it easily because we're going to be using it from here on. All right, so I'm assuming that you were able to do this. It shouldn't be too hard to create an account. By the way, there are 3 ways to finish this project. Number 1, I will be doing it live in class. That is the preferred method that I want you to use. If for some reason you miss class, the second thing you can do is look at this. So find the spiel on Google Classroom, and it's right there in the assignment, and you can go through it and do it that way. And then finally, you can watch this video to do it, okay? But the idea is that you try to do it yourself before you watch me do the solution. You're going to learn way more that way, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and create a new Codiva project called Calculator, and we're going to create a public class called Calculator, and so on and so forth. Let's take a look and see what that's going to look like. Okay, so you're going to create a new project, and you're going to, I wonder if it'll let me change. It doesn't even want to let me change that. All right, so the file name is going to be calculator with a capital C. Okay, and right here, you're going to put source / and you're going to put chapter 5 because this is part of chapter 5. Calculator chapter 5, create. Okay, and it does the first part for you. So, by the way, don't mess with this, leave this. Anytime you delete stuff like that, it's bad things happen. But look what it's done for you. It's created the class header, class calculator, and then it's also made the main method. And the reason they did that for you is if you don't have a main method, you're going to get an error. So look what happens if I get rid of, if I comment this out. It's like, no, what's happening? We don't have a main method. You have to have a main method. So that's why they automatically did that for you. So that's kind of nice that it's already done for you. All right, let's jump back and see what the next set of instructions are. Okay, all right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build, since they've already done our class header and our main method, the least that we could do is a constructor. But before we build our constructor, what is a constructor? Write it down in your notes. Please write that down, look it up, figure out what that is. So inside of the class, create a calculator constructor. Wait a minute, I should probably tell you what a constructor is. It is a special method that runs one time. It runs right at the beginning, and it builds your object, or it builds an instance of the class, same thing. Special method runs one time, builds an instance of the class or an object based on that blueprint. Okay, so we need to build the class constructor. And we're going to leave the contents of the constructor empty for now. Try it yourself before I show you. So do not watch me do it. That is for lamos, wimps. You need to try it first, and then you can watch me do it. Okay. So the constructor is going to go right after this. So you're going to leave a space here for instance variables, and then right here you're going to say public calculator, and it has to be spelled exactly the same. So sometimes when I'm doing like that, I just cheat and I copy and paste, so I always get it the same. Public calculator, we need to put parentheses, and because it's a method, we need to have the opening, closing curly brackets. And remember, and we're going to leave those empty like we said. And remember, you never put a semicolon unless while you're. So right now we're teaching it to do something, right? You only put a semicolon in if you're asking it to do the thing you tell it to do. So it's going to look something like that. Okay, so far so good. Okay. So let's hit run and see what it does. It says hello. So we can close that, and we can click on that and go back. All right, let's go back to our slides and see what it's telling us to do. Okay, now create a main method, which I already made. I can remember all the key, try yourself. We already did that. Okay, add a code snippet to the main method that will say, hello world, my name is so-and-so. Or better yet, let's say, Happy New Year, my name is so-and-so. So let's try that. So we're going to go to Diva. We're going to go to this line of code right here in the main method. And we're going to change this, customize it. We're going to say, Happy New Year. I'm okay. So there's something like that. So we run it and it says Happy New Year. Good. Okay, so now we can close that, close this. Okay, we're back. Let's take a look and see what's next on the Spiel agenda. Okay, so we want to add comments near the top of the program that describe what the program does, and I'm gonna add to this, and I'm also say okay. So we're gonna add a comment for the constructor. Okay, so make sure you do that. Okay, try it the best you can before you copy me. Don't be a lame-o and copy me. Okay, so what that's going to look like is right here. We're going to say this is a simple online calculator, something like that. And then right here, we're going to do public calculator. So we're going to hit enter, and we're going to say this is the constructor. It is a special method that runs once at the beginning. Something like that. Okay, that's how you do a comment. Remember, these things don't do anything. They simply are to help the human reader figure out what we're trying to do. All right, let's take a look back at the spiel, see where we're at. I think that might be it. All right, that's it for part one. Good work. Go ahead and go on to part two.